Hi, everyone. This is Jess with Whispers of Grace Healing. Happy New Year's, everybody. So, I just wanted to hop on and wish, first off, everyone a Happy New Year. But I also wanted to give some updates of what to expect from the channel in the coming year. Um, I have decided that I will no longer be doing traditional tarot readings like I have done in the past and like everyone else is doing. It just doesn't feel in alignment with the things that I want to do and the things I want to be in service to. So, what you can expect from me next year is more of a life coach. I want to be able to still be in service and help people through the real deal stuff that we encounter throughout our lives and be of support to you through a lot of your transitions. I will be doing video updates. I want to start doing, instead of our live tarot reads, I want to do more of like an intuitive guidance piece. So we'll focus on different aspects of life every week, and these will be donation based. So, um, you know, I just feel like that's the best way to going about it right now, and we'll play around with it and see what happens. But um, I feel like, one week we can focus on relationship stuff. The next week we can focus on different phases of our ascension journey, shadow work. And so that way y'all can ask real questions and kind of get an idea of what you would expect from our private sessions. So my pricing isn't necessarily going to change. It's just I'm getting rid of tarot for now, just because I feel like a lot of us are, in the tarot community, it becomes very obsessive and we're always focusing on what's going on and what's happening in the future. And we're skipping a bunch of different phases that we need to be going through right now. So, the best way that I can be of service to you is to help you through what you're going through right now. Um, so, hey, Christina G, Christina Maria, David, Savannah, Maria, yes, Happy New Year's, everybody. But yeah, and Savannah, it might just be something that you start on the side, or maybe it's just not time for you. But this is kind of something I've been thinking about for a while, and now it's just getting to that phase of my journey where it's becoming more and more of a reality, and I feel much more inspired to do this because I was losing steam. I was actually falling into a real set of laziness when it came to doing my work because it wasn't in alignment with me anymore. So I had to sit down and figure out, well, what am I really good at? And that's by helping people go through their stuff and really looking at their stuff. So that's where we're going to stand. And, I'm still going to be pulling cards and, stuff like that. I just won't be doing regular tarot, especially as much as I was. It's not going to be the basis of this channel anymore. And Happy New Year, Nelson. And I just want to thank you all. Hey, Michelle. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. They do. No, they do. The readings, the generals, the minis on, it just does. It takes a lot of energy, and like I said, I'm just not inspired by it anymore. But I honor it and I respect it because it very much helped me through my process when I first started all of this, and it was a great gateway for me to come to where I am now. And I just want to thank all of you for your support and your love throughout my transitions and throughout my journey. And I honor and respect each and every single one of you and the parts that you play. And thank you to everyone. Like, even if, you know, you're not getting private reads or donating, but you're still liking and commenting and sharing, like, that still is an energy exchange. And I appreciate all of you so much for believing me and trusting me throughout our process, because we're going through this together. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for every bit that y'all have played through this. So yeah, and there's also another aspect to that piece, because Spirit's been really wanting me to get creative. So they have me on a new project, which will be coming out soon. And these are going to be more of artwork and homemade gifts. So I will be starting a new page for that shortly. And I'm just trying to get some foundation to get started up. But yeah, and these are things that are very much inspired by Spirit, and um, have real depth and meaning, and really are pushing my what I thought my skill set was. And because it's been a very long time since I've done any of this stuff, and they're reminding me just how much it's still naturally there. Um, yeah, absolutely, Savannah. Um, if that's something that you're interested in, Savannah is asking, in your plan, could you maybe do an individual training for meditations too? If that's something you're ever interested in, please reach out. I would be happy to help you with that. It is a process, and it takes a lot of patience. And, it's funny that you're bringing that up, because one of the things that has been really prominent to me is the the need for stillness and the balance between the two, because um, a lot of us are either on one spectrum or the other. I feel like a lot of us have been in a very stagnant place, and not really sure what to do with our time. So we seem to be distracting ourselves with not so healthy behaviors and patterns. And then there's, you know, the people who are constantly on the go have no idea how to be still. And there's a real presence for awareness right now. And um, especially moving into the new year, because that's the message that I've been getting. And, you know, it doesn't mean that we stay still. It's just creating moments of stillness, if that makes sense. And when we start feeling frustrated and crazy and just scattered all over the place, it's really, really important, like, just to put all of your shit aside for a second and create space for yourself. So, so important. Um, and this is going to allow you to connect to your wild side. This is the message that they're bringing forth for what we can expect in the new year, is exploring our own wilderness. And I was thinking about, like, what does that even mean? And there's a lot of things that Spirit wants you to say yes to this year. And when it comes to uh, the wilderness, there's a lot of things that you probably would do if you didn't have so many excuses of why you couldn't. the limiting beliefs about why we can or why we shouldn't, or the timing's off, or whatever the case may be. This is going to be a really big year for breaking outside of our comfort zones. It's saying yes to life and to ourselves and to the relationships that we choose to carry with us. Um, it's saying yes to creative endeavors that you feel like are a lost cause or something that's been put on the back burner for way too long. This is a really, really big time for you to um, understand how much power you have in the present. And this is really what it is. It's about being present. Um, and that's probably why I'm getting away from tarot, because everyone's so focused on the future, um, or living in the past, that not many people are actually aware of what's going on right here, because there's so much external tied to it. So um, the goddess that they're bringing to our attention for the new year is Princess Diana. Okay. And if you ever feel like you're losing touch of yourself or your creative side or the joy in life, call in Diana, because she is the queen of wilderness. And the language of the natural world is a frequency of love, and that is the mother tongue. And this is really where our focused intention for the year should be for us. So I'm just going to read out of the book. She says, Diana represents the call to embody more primal connection to the wilderness that exists within. The goddess Diana was worshipped in the ancient Roman religion originated in Italy. She is the daughter of Jupiter and Latona, born on the island of Delos with her twin brother, Apollo, god of the sun. The Temple of Diana in Rome dates back to the 6th century BCE. She was the protectress and patroness of the lower class and slaves who could seek sanctuary in her temples. And this is another thing that I want everyone to take into consideration, because um, this is going to be a really good time for us to be in service, especially when it comes to if you have been feeling unsafe or unworthy, like really finding your sanctuary and being a sanctuary for others in that same position. Okay. Whatever you relate to, they want you to be the safe place. Okay. Um, so the temple to Diana in Ephesus, I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong, was considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It took 220 years to build, and the magnificent statue of Diana, covered in breast, symbolized her worship as a fertility goddess for women. Paul in the Acts of the Apostles in the New Testament mentions Diana's temple, since her following was extensive and seen as a threat to Christianity. The most famous place to worship Diana was in the sacred grove of oak trees on the shores of the Lake Nemi near Rome. Out in the nature connected to the earth and to the wild animals that roam freely across it, here she is, the huntress with her golden bow and arrows. She is the independent, free-spirited goddess who communes with the moon, the natural world, and all those who cannot speak for themselves. Sometimes the answer is the simple elemental need to just walk barefoot in the grass, or even better, the mud. Sometimes we get so caught up in what is happening or what isn't happening that we forget to just be. We forget that there is tremendous power surging up from the earth, wanting to take whatever energy is no longer serving us. We forget that we can commune with the trees, those ancient protectors and elders whose language comes with the help of the wind and the slow, soft caress that touches our cheek. Answers sometimes need to come from the basic desire of the body to feel grounded here on earth. Diana is associated with fertility and the phases of the moon and the ability to communicate with animals. Of course, not with any human language, but with the frequency of love and intention which animals perceive. If we open ourselves up to it, we can connect to the wisdom of the natural world even if we live far from it. Even if we are deep in the heart of the busiest city, a sign on a bus, a logo on a t shirt, or a card someone sends us may carry an image of the animal that wants to teach us. Or we may be visited by a possum on the fire escape or a hawk on a window's ledge. We do not have to be in the wilderness to access the wisdom of the natural world. The wilderness is within us, and we are a part of it. There's so much more we can receive from the wordless life all around us. We just have to develop the heart that can hear it. And I can't tell y'all, like, just how accurate this is. And, well, and I'll get back to that statement, Savannah. There are so many times that I was so frustrated and just had to go for a walk or whatever the case may be. And I would just ask spirit, like, what do I need right now? What do I need to know? And if you pay attention, like, the signs are everywhere, guys. So it doesn't matter where you are, but that's where just being or presence comes into play because then you're much more aware of what's actually around you. So look for the small blessings, look for animals or, things that are synchronizing around you that you see a lot of. Look up the symbolism of those animals or look up the symbolism of those dreams. I think it's so important that we understand, especially for those that are attracted to my energy and to my channel and to my messages. We do not have to speak physical words in order for us to be heard. And once we understand the art of that energy and just how much we put out is affecting everything around us, you will see just how much you have power over your circumstances. And when we are giving in to the feeling of being alone, being separated, being in fear, or being in lack, the more we're going to receive that. So trust in yourself, trust in your process, trust in your own wilderness, and learn to speak the language of the heart because the heart does not lie. We want to get so caught up in the physical aspects and what we can see, touch, and hear, but what are you feeling? And so many of us are scared of what we feel that we completely negate what our gut is telling us, what our body is telling us. Especially if you're an empath, pay attention. Pay attention and create enough stillness for yourself to like be aware of what your body's trying to communicate. Be aware of what the world's trying to communicate to you and don't take any of it for granted because it's always right there and it's just a matter sometimes we don't want to hear it but we need to hear it and therefore we try to spin it to our the way that we want it to come and we are fighting ourselves. We're fighting the universe, and it's time to surrender. It's time to surrender and allow things to flow as they should, because there's only certain things that we have control over, and that is the action that you put into your life. So say yes to life, say yes to yourself, and say yes to all the beautiful things that life has to offer. But it starts with you, my friends. If you don't work on yourself, if you don't face your fears, if you don't deal with the exes, if you keep that pain, if you keep that baggage, you will continue to suffocate yourself and self sabotage. If you want new love to come in, you have to first get over the pain that you have endured from your past. And it doesn't mean that it all gets healed, but it has to be addressed. Because no matter what, you're going to carry it into whatever relationship comes forth. Because you're functioning based off of trauma programming. So they want to pull a card. What do we need to hear about the relation aspect and trauma programming? So we have the goddess of light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. The goddess of all that flows. I am an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. Lady of the Lotus born, embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. And Our Lady of Exalted Light, I give endlessly. The light is without end. I give endlessly because the light is without end. My soul is all I need. And this is the true setup, because we're so focused on something outside of us completing us and fulfilling us. And your relationships and your experiences are mirrors. They're complete mirrors of what is going on inside of you. And once you allow those emotions to flow out instead of holding on to them, right? All the anger, jealousy, and pride, and all these things that keep us blocked from receiving, you need to let it go so you can birth new things. And that's when you really start getting in touch with yourself. And that's why they're saying embodiment is the deepest bliss, because once you are in tune with yourself, nothing takes that from you unless you allow it. Your body was made for enlightenment. And when you realize your soul is all you need and you start taking care of it, you will give endlessly because the light is without end. And all of that will be mirrored back to you, my friends. So, yes. So, find your wilderness, find your enlightenment, find your bliss, and enjoy what is now, instead of thinking that your happiness or your success is tomorrow or so many years away. It can be right now if you so let it. So, with that being said, I hope these messages help you guys. And if you want to donate, you can do that through the PayPal link down below. If you need a personal session or have any questions, you can do that through whispersofgrace1016@gmail.com. I love you all so much, and we're going to rock it this year, and we're going to do it together. So, with that being said, I wish you all a beautiful new year, a clear mind, a happy soul, and an open heart, my friends. God be with you.